Welcome. Hello, fellow truth seekers. So my name's Kathleen. I'm one of the spirit operators. And today the video we're doing is, are past lives real? Well, the short answer to that is yes. But if you want to look into that deeper or try to come up with some proof for that, then we'll continue. Okay, so where I like to start when I try to help people to understand this is you can't make something from nothing. And even scientists will agree with this. If you have absolutely nothing at all, you can't make something from it because there's nothing there. And so I take this as you can't have nothing, no life whatsoever, and then suddenly you have life, you have consciousness. Then when you die, it goes back to nothing. Sorry, you can't have something from nothing. That's impossible. So to go nothing, fully conscious life, to nothing again is impossible. Okay, in the next video that I make, I will explain a little bit more about the mind. But for us to exist with full consciousness, we have to have always existed. And I am hoping to make more videos to explain this further and more deeply. So if we've always existed, we will always exist. So there's a kind of a cute way we can look at this. So I have a glass of water here. So we can pretend that the water is our mind. Okay? And now I have another glass. So the water is going to change from this mind, I'm going to move the water from this glass to this glass. So we can look at that as though our mind is in this body right now that we have. But in the future, it will move on to another body. So I pour the water into here. And now the water has moved to this glass. It's still water. It didn't change to something else. I can dump the water on the floor. I'm not going to. But I could dump this water onto the floor. It would still be water. Okay, so it would still be mind even though it's changed where it is. Then if I was to mop that water up, it would still be water, but it would be in the mop. And if I wring the mop out, water is going to come out of it. So there's still water. Now, the water can change form. Absolutely. So we could freeze the water. Well, now it's ice. It's still water, but it's just frozen water. So it still exists. It just exists in a different form. Okay, so then you can boil the water and it turns to steam. Well, it still exists, but now it's in the form of steam. And when that dissipates, it becomes a gas, or gases, right? Hydrogen, oxygen. So it still exists. It doesn't stop existing. It doesn't go to nothing. It still exists. It just changes the shape or the form that it has. Then eventually it'll become a cloud, again, changing its shape. And if it gets heavy enough, the conditions, the temperature, whatever comes together, it'll fall down as rain or snow. And again, it still exists, right? So that's how we can view the mind. It's impossible to not have mind. And then suddenly here we are with a mind that functions and a mind that has consciousness. And then we go back to absolutely nothing. You can't do that with anything else that exists, right? So that's kind of impossible. And I'm sure there will be that will argue against that. But from how I see it and from how I understand it, that's how it works. Okay, so that's great, but is there other sort of examples or other ways we can know past lives are real? Most of us in life go through life as though we're not going to die. We don't even really think about it most of the time. We just do whatever we're doing, working, school, resting, vacation, whatever. We're always planning for things to do, but we're not thinking, I'm going to die in a minute, I'm going to die in a couple of minutes, I'm going to die today, that doesn't really occur to most of us. And I think at some level we realize that even if we were to die, we don't stop existing. Because if we truly believed that when we die, there is nothing else, it's completely over, we're done, we would be terrified of everything in life because there's so much out there that can kill you. But we don't live that way. And I think it's because on some level that we may not be aware of, we realize that no, we're not going to end. Sure, we'll die, we won't have this life anymore, but we'll change what container we're in, right? We'll move on. So that's another way that we can look at this. Another way, you meet somebody, you've never met them before, but you have such a strong connection to this person. You feel as though you've always known them your whole life, or you just think, oh, we're going to be such good friends. Like, this is going to be awesome. Or you might have the opposite. You might meet someone and think, ugh, like, stay away from me. I want nothing to do with you. Right away, even though you may not even, like, interact with them much, you just, this person, I need to keep my space. Because past lives, because you have had experiences with these people in different lives, and you somehow, there's that memory on one level of your mind that says, this person's bad news, hey, this person's awesome. I mean, it doesn't always happen, but you do meet the occasional person in your life that you just think, wow, like, there's just such a strong connection here. And so I and others would think, well, that's because of past life connections, previous connections we've had with them. So another way that we can look at this is child prodigies. Okay, and the most famous example is probably Mozart, right? Little kid composing, it's so easy for him, plays music, you know, he's mastered it at such a young age. How is that even possible? And I say it's because of past life connections, because they mastered making music, composing, playing music in a past life, and this life has come along, and so all of that has ripened and the conditions are there for them to just be born with that knowledge and abilities. Okay. Now, there's going to be people that say, oh, it was exposure in the womb. Okay, right. So how many people have exposed their child to classical music or whatever, even putting headphones on their pregnant belly, so that the kid will come out this genius and child prodigy? And if that was the case, there'd be a lot more of them on the planet, don't you think? Because there's lots of people that have done that and their kid was just normal, average, maybe a little bit above average, but there haven't been very many Mozarts wandering around, have there? So again, I would say it's past life. Okay, so some people actually have the ability to remember their past lives. They are walking through life and they They just remember a past life, their previous past life, or however many past lives. They have that knowledge, those memories already. I mean, we've seen children who will describe things that have happened to them in their past lives and come up with details that they couldn't possibly know. Okay, so there are people that remember. And the only reason is because they lived a past life and their mind is developed enough for them to have held on to those memories, or the attachment that they've had for that past life has come through with them into this life. And if you remember your past life or have had glimpses or something, we would love it if you would share that in the comments. That would be awesome to be able to read that. So please let us know in the comments. Okay. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so we've looked at different ways of how we can kind of prove that there's past lives, and you know, you can listen to that and go, yeah, okay, but I don't buy it. Or, you know, how can I know for myself? I mean, if you haven't experienced some of the things that I've been talking about, how would you know that, you know, that it's real? Well, it is something that you can actually experience for yourself. However, it will take effort. It's going to take work. And a lot of people, especially nowadays, are not interested in doing the work. So you can do it through meditation if you meditate in the correct way, because a lot of meditation out there is not correct and won't help you advance in this way. Because you really want meditation is going to help you to focus your mind, concentrate your mind, help you with your discipline of your mind. And these are things you need to work on. And if you meditate in the right way and you do all the correct things, then you can make spiritual progress. So the more spiritual progress that you make, real spiritual progress, not a lot of the fake stuff that's out there, you can eventually get to the point where you can remember your past lives. And actually, you'll start to see your future lives as well. And another way is through doing shamanic work, doing shamanic journeys. You can visit your past and future lives. You don't tend to see the whole life, at least that has not been my experience, but you will get glimpses and patches that here and there of past lives and future lives. So there are ways of doing it for yourself. And that's the point. You really want to be working on this for yourself. You want to prove all the spiritual stuff that's out there. Prove it for yourself to see whether or not it's real. And keep working on it till you get there. So, you know, it could take 10 years. It could take 25 years before you get to a place where you can remember your past lives or prove to yourself a lot of this stuff. And when you hear that, like most people would hear that and go, yeah, I'm not doing that. It can be quicker with shamanic journeying. It's just a much faster way of getting to these places and proving things to yourself. So that can be a shortcut if that's what you're looking to. But see, like a lot of people nowadays want fast food for their spirituality. Just hand it to me. Thank you. It's fine. And not have to put any effort or work into it. And sadly, it doesn't work that way. You really have to do the work yourself, and it's going to take time. And you just have to keep working on it till you get there. Yeah, like the fastest that I have seen is with doing the shamanic work. However, You need to have the knowledge of what it is you're looking for, or what it is you need to accomplish in order to make spiritual progress shamanically. Like, you can't just go in there and start doing journeys, and if you're not doing the right sort of stuff, you'll miss out on making spiritual progress. Anyway, sorry, I'm kind of going off on a bit of a tangent there. So yeah, think about, what I said about past lives, and try to prove it for yourself. See if there's anything that you can see in your life that kind of goes, oh yeah, there was that person I met and they made me, yeah, that's right. And, figure it out for yourself, because it's really super important, especially if you want to make spiritual progress. You really need to have the understanding and belief that past lives are real, because if you don't, it's going to hinder your spiritual progress. I'm not saying you won't make any spiritual progress, but you won't be able to make all spiritual progress that you need to make without having that understanding. And I don't really want you to have blind faith and just go, okay, yeah. Really try to work it out for yourself. And this is something that can happen over time, right? So if you're inclined to believe, yeah, I believe in past lives, I think that's real, then right on, keep going for it. But like, if you're like, no, there's no way there's past lives, I don't want you to just go, oh well, she said there, so yeah, okay, I'll buy that. Like, I really want you to do the work and investigate and take the time so that it's true for you. Okay, please. Okay, so as I said before, I'm part of the Spirit Operators, and we just want to invite you to join us. We have Neo City's website up and running, and you can always take a look at that. And we also are on Bluesky, so you can follow us there, join us on there. The links hopefully will work in the description below, but YouTube, I don't know if they work or not. Sorry, I do my best, but I am not a pro. Okay. Anyway, hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you soon.